I like to ask people questions that make them the slightest bit uncomfortable for all the right reasons. It's always for their own good. At least I perceive it as such, right? And one of those questions I oftentimes ask is, why is it that you're not doing the thing that you actually want to be doing with your life? Right? So you find somebody's working a corporate job when really they want to be working, in the fitness industry. They want to be a writer, but they're working behind a desk somewhere, or they're digging ditches or flipping burgers or whatever it may be, right? I ask the question, why is it that you are not doing what you actually claim you want to do with your life? And one of the answers that always gets me, I understand it, I can relate to it, I can even empathize with it, but it always gets to me is it takes too much time, right? That's the answer that I get more often than not. It's just going to take so much time. Like if I was to do that thing, it would take so much time. And what I say to that is pretty simple. It is the reality that that time is going to pass anyway. So let's say that your vision was to build a structure, right? You want to be an architect and you want to build this colossal tower, and you know this tower is going to take 10 years to build. Okay. So let's say you take those 10 years to build that tower, and let's say it takes 12. So it takes even longer than you thought it would. But after those 12 years, you have now built this tower that you wanted to build. However, let's say you took the 10 years and did not build the structure. You would still go through 10 years. However, you would end up in a place again that you truly do not desire to be. Think about that. You've taken the same exact 10 years, only one side. Well, you spent 2 more and you built the building that you wanted to build. On the other side, you have nothing to show for it, literally nothing to show for it. And so that's the question I ask, because it's the question I also had to ask myself, right? Now, I'm not building towers. I'm out here writing the books and, giving the speeches and things of that nature. So I had to ask myself the question, well, if you don't invest into what you truly want to do, into who you truly are, right? Into the calling and the purpose and the vision for your life. If you don't do that, because it takes too much quote unquote time, when you believe it's going to take too much time, right? Oh man, it's going to take so long to grow a following. It's supposed to take 5 years for this and 7 years for this and 10 years for this. If these are the belief systems that I'm holding on to, which are flawed, by the way, right? These are nothing but constructs. Like you could literally blow up the same day that you start. It's just based on your belief systems. We think it's about grind, hustle, hustle. That's actually a conditioning that we've been put under since childhood. But let's scratch that. Let's say the reality was it was going to take me 10 years to do exactly what I wanted to do with my life. 10 years to get to the space and the place where I'm finally able to do what I want with my life. The time is going to pass anyway. So long as I'm on this earth, the time is going to pass. And I think many of us get in this mentality where we don't actually view time with a proper perspective. We view time as something that, is something to be spent and something that goes, something that is oftentimes longer than we assume. And we forget that time is supposed to be something we actually invest. It's supposed to be something we are intentional with. Time is the measurement of life. That's what time really is. Like, again, I don't know if everybody thinks this type of wacky, quacky way, but I think to myself, okay, it's not time. It's not actually time. It's actually life. That's what we're dealing with, right? So I have, 27,000 hours of life to give to this. I have 5,000 hours worth of life to this. Like, I remember when I got this job offer at a time where, I'll be honest, it was tempting. Right. And this offer comes in and I look at how much money it's going to make, et cetera, and the hours. And it was going to be a 6-month long contract. And I looked at that contract and I ran the numbers. For one of the first times ever, I just simply ran the numbers of how much time I would actually be giving to this project, how much time and energy I'll be giving, or how much life of my life I would be giving over to this company. And I did view it as life. So I said, okay, calculate out just 40 hours a week, right? Just 8 hours every single day, regular 9 to 5. Forget the commute time or forget the time that I spent thinking about the job and doing extra stuff and knowing myself. It's not just going to be the 8 hours. It's going to be another 8 on top somehow, right? So I calculated just the bare minimum, just the 9 to 5 that I, let's say, had to be in the quote unquote office. And when I calculated that time out for those 6 months, I calculated out roughly 960 hours from the day of, right? Day of to like the end of the actual contract. 960 hours. And I looked at that 960 hours, and for the first time in my life, it hit me different. Because I wasn't just looking at 960 hours of what I would be giving to this, but 960 hours of what I would be taking away from me, right? close to 1,000 hours given over to this project, to these, whatever this company is or these people. 1,000 hours of my life, essentially, given over to something that has nothing to do with what I truly desire in life, right? And that's only 6 months. Now, I don't know the last time you just sat there and calculated out 6 months or you felt 6 months, but 6 months goes by like this. Like the beginning of this year feels like it was literally yesterday. We can't even comprehend how recently or how far back the 1st of January 2023 was, yet we are here now. And when I tell you January 2023, you're like, oh my goodness, that was just yesterday, right? We're already at the end of the year. We're already in October. Like we're in month number 10, right? Out of 12. And yet here you are thinking to yourself, man, this thing's going to take so much time, etc. I promise you the time is going to pass and you're going to blink and you're going to be in that place. And this is coming from somebody who I honestly, I was frozen in that space of it's going to take a lot of time, right? I had a lot of different excuses for myself and a lot of deeply embedded belief systems that I had to get out the way, right? But one of my core reasons for not truly pursuing what I wanted to do was just take too much time, right? Why don't you write the book? It really takes a lot of time to write a book. That's when I didn't know, by the way. I didn't know I could sit there and crank out page after page after page, hour after hour and have an entire manuscript done within, 4 or 5 weeks. I didn't know that. I didn't know that because I hadn't done it before. So I just thought to myself, oh man, that's going to take a lot of time. This is going to take a lot of time, right? You don't know what you don't know. And for as long as you keep yourself in that state of contemplation and thinking the thing through, which is just another kind of umbrella or another disguise for doubt, when you keep yourself in that perpetual state of doubt, you will create this mirage or this image of how much work something's going to take and how hard it's going to be and how much you're going to have to put of yourself into it. Not recognizing that what you're doing right now, the job that you're working in right now, the jobs you've worked in before, the school that you're in right now, whatever it may be, you have dedicated so much of your life already. Like if you were a senior in high school, you've already done 12 years of education. You've already done 12 years of school. If you're a 12th grader in the United States of America and you've gotten to the 12th grade, you've done at least 12 years in school. Therefore, the time has passed anyway. And so if you continue to view your vision as something that's going to take so much of you or so much of your time, remember that this is your life force we're talking about. And, most of these corporations will not obviously position it in that way. They won't tell you that, hey, we want 40 hours of your life. They're not going to tell you that. They're just going to say, all we need is for you to be available for this amount of time. They're not going to tell you the straight up truth. Hey, look, we need you to put whatever you got going on in your own life on pause to build what we got going on. And we're going to give you a check for it. And you sign up for it every single time. And you don't even doubt it. You are grateful for that opportunity, right? You're thankful for it. Yet when it comes to you and the investment in yourself, right? To bet on yourself, man, it's going to take too much time. What that actually tells me, and this is coming from somebody who self-diagnosis within me as well as a multitude of others, is it's a worthiness thing. It has to do with our belief that we are or are not worthy of the good that we desire out of life. That's what that's about. It has nothing to do with anything else. Do I believe that I am worthy and deserving of whatever it is that I desire out of life? Do I believe that I'm worthy to be an author that people are actually reading? Do I believe that I'm worthy to be a speaker that's speaking in front of hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of people at a time? Do I believe that I am worthy enough to build that structure that stands, in the middle of whatever grand city? Do I believe that I am worthy of the dream that I am desiring? And I'm going to tell you right now, there's only one answer to that question every single time for every human on this planet. Absolutely. 1,000%, not even 1,000%, infinitum of percentages. Absolutely. You are absolutely deserving. And the reason why you have that dream, you have that desire, you have that ambition is because it is calling you forward into it, right? We think we create our vision. We think we are, manifesting, quote unquote, our vision, but really our vision is calling us. That's why it's called a calling. It's something that literally has been inside you. It's a yearning. It's not just a desire that is created from the outside, like a lot of these faux desires that we have are, right? You got the desire for the Bugatti because you've seen whoever with the Bugatti and you've seen how they were getting the girls, right? You got the desire for the Louis purse because you've seen whoever with the Louis purse and you saw the attention that they got, or they look like they were happy when they bought it, so you thought, I'm gonna be happy. When we have our desires that are truly based in what we want for our lives, who we are, right? Rooted in the most authentic version of ourselves, every single time those are coming from source. Every single time those are divine. Every single time those are messages that are compelling you to move forward into what you're being called to. Every time. And time, ironically enough, is nothing more than a construct in our mind. I'm not saying that, we do not age or progress or whatever. I'm not saying that's not quote unquote real. What I'm saying is we create an image of what time looks like based upon what we've believed in the past, right? So we think, man, last time I took 10 years for something, it felt like forever. But in relationship to your entire life, if you quantify 10 years of your life right now, right? If you're just 30 years old and you quantify 10 years, it seems like a flash. It just seems like memories, right? Just a multitude of memories at this point. So again, if it took you 10 years to do something, if that's really what it took, most things do not take 10 years. I'm going to tell you that, especially not in this generation. Everything is expedited, everything. Multi-billion-dollar corporations built overnight. But if you believed that it took 10 hours to do whatever it is, or even 20 hours, that time is going to fly by you and you're going to blink and wake up and you're here. Like I was 7 years old yesterday and now I'm 27, right? 20 years has literally gone in a flash. I can remember 7 years old. I don't feel the weight or the constraint of time. And so we have to start viewing ourselves in relation to time differently in order for us to remove this excuse, right? There's really no better word for it, to remove this excuse from our lives. Because all it's doing is constraining us, holding us back. It's keeping us in a place where we're stagnant, where we are, in essence, living out a lie. And we're perpetuating that lie. And we're using a multitude of excuses to keep that lie up, as opposed to starting to live a true, authentic life, a real life that is actually our own. Imagine that, right? Go figure. A life that is yours and not one that you got from a TV screen or that your auntie, your mama, your daddy, or whoever else may have told you should be living. When you live from an authentic space and you live from that God-given gifting that you have, man, time is going to be on your side. All of your time is going to turn into an investment. As opposed to killing time or spending time, you're going to be investing your time. All of your time is invested when it is placed into the development of your own gifting. Every time. Every time I'm in front of this, every time I'm here talking to y'all, every time I'm creating one of these blog articles y'all read, or writing one of these books, or speaking on a stage, conducting a workshop, every time I am in communication with another human being, that is an investment. If we sit down and have a conversation, I'm going to make sure that your life is going to be blessed in those 5 minutes or those 5 hours every single time. Because that is my purpose. That is my mission. That is my intention in life. And every single moment works in my favor now. Every single moment works in direct relationship with where I am going. People may look at you in the moment and think, I don't know where this guy's going. It's not their roadmap. You're the one with the map. How are they going to know where you're going when you're the one with the map? When you're the one who was given the map in the first place? Not even just the one with it, but the one who has it imprinted within you. You are the map, right? And so you take those coordinates, and one day the people around you will see, and you will obviously witness this. But even in the process of, becoming, in the process of going deeper and deeper into your dream, into your vision, when you're literally living your dream as your real life, the deeper you go into that, the more you're going to see that, oh man, this time thing is literally, it's a gift, right? The time that you have to give to your gift is a gift. Like Picasso loved to paint so much. Every moment of his life was enriched when he got to be in his gifting. Did he look at a painting and say, oh, this is going to take 10 years? Absolutely not. If that painting took 10 years, he was going to bask and relish in the 10 years of this painting. But guess what? Because he gave himself to it completely, it probably took 10 minutes as opposed to 10 years, right? The thing you think is going to take so long, oftentimes is constrained because you're able to give yourself to it completely. And so I just really want us to shift our frame of reference, to shift our state of consciousness, and to start to look at things from a different lens, as opposed to this lens of how we've been programmed, how we've been conditioned to think from a state of truth, as opposed to illusion, as opposed to he say, she say, right? Start listening to that voice within, period. That being said, this is the voice without you should be listening to, because it leads you back to the voice within. My very first published book, Doing Me Guilt-Free. Make sure to get yourself a copy by clicking the link in the description below. I got to head ski, I got to jet ski, I got to go. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Much love. Peace.